1st of March, the BMC, that is the corporation that runs Mumbai city, announced that large parts of the city would face a 15% water cut for a month due to repairs. On the 14th of April, this program exposed how the 15% water cut was definitely not just 15%, and how one of the key causes for this suffering was illegal work done by a private builder in Mumbai's Thane suburb. Now, 72 hours later, the BMC has accepted that the water cuts are effectively more than 15%, promised to complete repair work by the next 1 week, and Maharashtra Minister Deepak Kesarkar has promised follow-up action. Now, while issues like this often get skipped in the news cycle, we truly believe this matters, and not to just those in Mumbai. The entire episode of a private builder, square feet real estate, illegally digging so deep at a construction site that a major water tunnel was disrupted is shocking. This disruption in turn impacted supply to a filtration plant that is responsible for 65% of water to Mumbai and its suburbs. It matters because it displays how callous civic authorities can be. Let me first go across to my colleague Abhishek, who is tracking the story for the latest details. Abhishek, what has been the update in the last 2 days that Mirror Now has taken up the story? The campaign, of course, has been loaded because we take up people's issues, but is there any real relief in sight?
See, definitely, as of now, as we speak, from the past 72 continuously on ground, tracking all updates, right from bringing you the ground report from the affected suburb. In fact, we questioned the people, which clearly pointed out that investigation is going on, but he said that no action has been still initiated against the so-called builder, and his name has been mentioned. On the other side, today the BMC accepts the fact that definitely what we announced was a 15% water cut, but it is not 15%. It is only at the source, which is 15%. But when it reaches to the higher altitude area, definitely more than 15% is something that is expected. On the other side, when we spoke to Minister, he said that it was kind enough that you brought the issue to my notice. Being a Guardian Minister, I have taken a review meeting with BMC officers to take instructions in this regard, as well as he has assured that he will be taking a meeting that such kind of incident will not happen in future. So definitely, he also appreciated Mirror Now.
Right. No, you're right, Abhishek. He's appreciated. He said it will not happen in future. But the fact is that we've been seeing either water pipes or tunnels bursting or damaged at least once a month. And there's a slew of reasons. Of course, this one was, beyond belief that an illegal construction activity was allowed. Thank you for that, Abhishek. And thank you for, bringing us those updates. And of course, you're keeping track on where that story goes. Additionally, we spoke with the BMC Additional Commissioner P. Velarusu, who promised that repair work will be completed by next week. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Minister Deepak Kesarkar has loaded Mirror Now for its campaign.
Mumbaikars are facing like acute shortage. They are, they are saying that it's not just 15%, it's going like till 45%, 50% of shortage.
Yeah, so you are partly right. The tunnel diameter is close to 5 meters, and it is, as I told you earlier, it is 100 meters below the ground. When the puncture is done by some entity, we have undertaken the repairs, but fortunately, at least we have the other pipeline which is close to 2.8 meter in diameter. So we are diverting and bringing in water to the city through that Tansa pipeline, which is available. Imagine even that pipeline is not available, the water supply situation would have been disastrous. So these are the situations which normally don't happen. We usually don't expect somebody to go down 100 meters below and puncture the tunnel. These are the incidents which usually is not expected. So what you pointed out is correct. Yes.
Yes, sir.
A shortage been announced by 15% for the month of April, but it's been witnessed in the eastern and western suburbs that more than 80% of water cuts are being faced by the resident out there.
as per my knowledge, the tunnel which brings the water to the city was punctured due to a bore well which was dug by some builder in Thane area, and we have already lodged the complaints against him. But for repairing of the tunnel, we required to shift it to the original system of pipeline which is in existence, and because of the carrying capacity of the pipeline is less than that of the tunnel, the people are facing the problem, and by the end of this month everything would be ready. I'm really thankful to you that you brought this to my notice, and I'll take appropriate action by tomorrow.
You know, we're glad to hear that our work is being commended, but honestly, it's taken too long. We have now learned that the police station in Thane, where the F.I.R was first registered against the builder whose work caused that damage, and to clear out that damage, so much water had to be wasted. You're seeing those visuals on your screen. That information went to the BMC 21 days ago. Why has nothing happened so far? Why have there been no arrests, no action, no legal action for this kind of a work? Who's supervising these operations? Is it just going to be random construction in different parts of the city without realizing where the water pipes and tunnels are? Where is the accountability? Sitaram Shelar, convener of Pani Haq Samiti, is with me on the show. Today I'm going to be speaking with Advocate Tulip Brian Miranda. She's a councillor in Mumbai. She's a Mumbai Municipal Councillor. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us today. Mr. Shelar, let me begin by understanding the extent of damage and why it has taken so long.
You raised the valid question. There is two things. One is municipal corporation is not acting with full authority here. There is some vested interest which actually push that this builder should not implicate it, and that's why that delay of F.I.R happened. And I think that there is a larger picture if you want to see that why, because even though this leakage was not recent, that leakage was, as per the information by BMC, the leakage was done before 1 or 2 months. So why that leakage is not informed to the BMC system, that is the another question. As well as the loss of water happened, the lives of people got affected. And the another thing is what is the reason behind it, because why BMC is not aware that there is a leakage, the severe leakage of the pipelines, because BMC is not upgraded its water measuring systems, and I think they are weakened by the administration and policy makers. The water department is weakened by cutting the money on the leak detection and prevention cell. That sales was responsible to regularly check the water pipelines and see where is the leakage, where is the potential leakage. If that potential leakage is showing somewhere, then rehabilitate or replace the pipeline well in advance, not like this kind of a thing. So that these systems the water department want to develop, and that proposals have given to the administration and the policy makers, but they are missing the action over there. I think that
There's not just a lack of action in terms of apathy. The serious question over here is, what really was the reason that the BMC first said there's only going to be a 15% water cut? There was no mention of the role of this developer, till we highlighted it on this scale on national media. Ms. Miranda, you spoke with us on Friday when we first brought up the issue on this very show. We've seen since then a lot of responses coming in from the BMC, from the Minister Deepak Kesarkar. They've said, thank you for bringing it to our notice. We're working on it. Are you satisfied with that?
I'm definitely not satisfied with it, Tamanna, because the satisfaction of a real Mumbaikar would be only when that builder, because of his careless actions, who has held the entire city at ransom, is going to be arrested. just merely filing an F.I.R against him and putting a proposition to fine him and, just to let him go for that action, which has caused the entire municipal corporation a great loss of revenue, a great loss on their entire management. I think so. He needs to be held responsible for his act by first making an arrest. The fine part of it definitely continues because the expenditure upon repairing that pipeline is going to be huge. And what about the irreparable loss caused to the Mumbaikars? Nobody is going to reduce our meter bills. The bills are going to be the same. We have been paying bills at the rate where South Mumbai, North Mumbai, East and West are paying equal bills. But we have seen a lot of partiality going on when it comes to supply of water. Today, the entire western suburbs from Andheri, let it be K East Ward, H Ward, the entire Bandra West suburbs, we have been suffering. By the time
Yeah.
the water reaches us, it is almost
No,
80%.
I want to understand what has changed in the last 3 days. Has the suffering eased, stopped?
No,
Has the
not
supply
at all.
improved? No.
Sorry,
They've
Tamanna,
said
not
they're going
at
to do
all.
something.
Not
Yeah.
at all. The suffering of the people has gone from bad to worst. There are areas which were not suffering, and now even those areas have suffered, and the entire line has been dry for the past 3 to 4 days. So the
Shaina
situation
NC,
and the thing is aggravating. It's aggravating.
Shaina NC, serious questions right now about the administration of the financial capital of this city. What is happening, ma'am, is that those who live in posh localities don't even know that there are water cuts up to 50-60% because they can afford the expensive tankers. Before their taps can run dry, the arrangement is made. But the rest of Mumbai is suffering. And then there is a role of this developer, square feet real estate, who seems to have gotten away scot-free with making such a mess. Where is the answerability?
So, Tamanna, I want to say that this builder is to be fined, which we know. I think this builder needs to be fined at the earliest because there is a sense of accountability, transparency that we believe is absolutely imperative. Now, if the BMC has this water cut, which is 15%, which is not the first time it's happened in the past, I'd like to also compliment Mira now for bringing up this issue. And I'd like to compliment the Guardian Minister, Deepak Kesarkar, for acknowledging the fact that there are lacunas in the system. You asked a correct question, what next? Now, for a city like Mumbai, which is bursting at its seams, obviously there are lots of infrastructure loads, and we know that it is imperative not to have water cuts for the poorest of poor because they are the ones who actually need it the most. And you're right when you cite that, you know, in high societies and big, larger societies, there are tankers which a lot of people resort to, and they're in a position. But the builder has to be fined because if there are these wrongdoings, then we need to have heads rolling. And I'm not going to duck the question. I think the administration of the BMC also is accountable.
Why did it take
and the
so
civic
long?
body has assured
do you
that
know,
they will give relief in the next 3 to 4 days.
This incident has taken place in last year's November.
Tamanna, we are not talking about a 2-inch pipe. We are talking about a 4-meter pipeline which supplies water to the city of Mumbai. This builder goes and punctures and paralyzes the entire city. You mean to say we are only going to fine him and not make an arrest? I'm sorry. This is a mockery of the system of law. It is a sheer mockery.
The opposition has today, 1 minute, let Shaina NC respond. Let Shaina NC respond. The opposition today has asked the question, is this developer being protected? Is this developer being politically protected? I'm going to ask you that question, Shaina NC.
Absolutely
not.
not.
That is a 75 crore fine.
Absolutely not.
Tab hoga, jab hoga. You know,
that's
and
100%
who was supposed to oversee the work?
These things is
1 minute, 1 minute. Let's not all speak together, please. Mr. Shelar, 1 minute. Mr. Shelar, 1 minute. Miss Miranda, 1 minute. Let's not all speak together because nobody can understand. 1 minute, 1 minute. We'll all speak one by one, please. Let Shaina NC respond. The question is, this incident took place last November. we have got a notice from the BMC just telling people generally that there will be a water cut. And you're right, it's not the first time water cuts have happened. So all of Mumbai is thinking, okay, it's very hot, maybe, you know, our reservoirs are running low. बड़े-बड़े शहरों में छोटी-छोटी बातें होती है. But that's not the case, right? This is a man-made disaster. There has to be accountability, of course, for the developer. But who gave them permissions? Who was supposed to oversee their work? What about that accountability? China, and see, I appreciate the fact that you're saying you're not going to duck any questions, but don't you agree this needs to be taken to its logical conclusion?
Absolutely. But Tamanna, I don't understand why you're only questioning me when I'm in agreement with everything that you're saying and the rest of the panelists too. The fact is that there has
your
been
government
a
is your party is running the government.
Particular builder. The BMC
your party is
filed,
running the government. With power comes responsibility. That is why I'm questioning you.
BMC. I'm not shying away from that responsibility. And Tamanna, please understand, there cannot be a bias when it comes to a water cut. Obviously, the water cut, the BMC is accountable, the administration is accountable. In this particular case, you've seen a blaze.
1 minute, let her respond. Advocate Miranda, let her respond. Please don't interrupt her. Let her respond. Yes.
Look, if I'm here to insulate anyone, it is the citizens of Mumbai. I'm not here to cite an example of a builder who has done wrong and who has been fined for the same. And if in 72 hours there isn't a relentless campaign and an impact and an answer, absolutely hold us accountable. You heard the Guardian Minister's statement today, which I think is also something that needs to be applauded, because he's applauded you as a channel too for raising this issue and says that there is no question of any kind of insulation when it comes to water. This is a fundamental right of the poorest of poor, and we're not just citing cases of high societies which have tankers which have been used for their own convenience. This is for the common citizen, and the misappropriation by a builder who has done wrong. Yes, you may say 75 crores fine is not enough. I say it's at least a start. Please understand that if there is a campaign where there is no accountability, people will have no fear of law. I don't think 75 crores is a small number. It's a large number, and obviously this has to be the starting point. But having said that, yes, we have to look at long-term solutions in a city like Mumbai, where you need to have water pipes.
Why have we taken so much time? Yeah, why have we taken so much time is an important question. But now Advocate Miranda, Shainansi is saying that we are going to be taking action in the next 72 hours.
Madam, you are witness to it. Madam, you are witness to it.
She's saying we're going to take action in the next 72 hours.
Tamanna ji, you have been witness to it on your own show. We have raised this issue. Apart from that, we have gone to every ward with Handa Morchas. We have written to the HEs. We have written to the deputy HEs. We have asked the ward officers to intervene. But it has not come to the light of the government that the city of Mumbai has been held ransom because of this builder who has punctured the pipeline, and not from past 21 days so the work has started. उसके पहले बीएमसी को मालूम था कि ये पंक्चर हुआ है, तो सरकार को मालूम नहीं है? इतनी अंधी हो गई, इतनी बहरी हो गई, इतनी insensitive हो गई है. How can you be so very insensitive towards the needs, the basic needs of the people? And I'm sorry, fundamental right, basic necessity, भाई, we are consumers, we are paying bills. फोकट में पानी हम लोग नहीं पी रहे हैं. We are paying bills, and every consumer is going to be holding the municipal corporation responsible for this lax attitude, because we are being passed today. We are buying.
Why should we are going to have a massive election of the BMC coming up? Why are these not important issues? I want to come to Sitaram Shelar. The fact is that water cut or no water cut, this city has become more and more dependent on tankers, because the level of construction and the number of high-rises which are getting permissions is just not keeping up with the supply of water. That's a well-known, poorly kept secret. Why is this not becoming an issue?
Yeah, basically, I just want to highlight three major aspects of this whole debate. I think we must ask this question to the administration and the urban development department or the state government now, because they are running the city. We have to ask them why, if that leakage happened 6 months ago or 4 months ago, why that is not informed to the BMC. Number two, why when it is informed 3 weeks ago to the BMC, then why it is not implicated to the developer who did that puncture, and then why, what kind of the commitment now the ministers are giving, why that steps were not taken 3 weeks ago. That's the major question we have to raise. And the fundamental answer is yes, there is a vested interest with these builders, and who are having that vested interest. That is the question we need to find the answer. Then the second point is, how much is the cut? They are showing that 15% is a cut, but if you see which pipeline is now punctured, it is clearly that more than 50% is a cut. And who is actually affected with this cut in a very severely? Like many populations of slums or people settlements, they are not getting water for 2 days or 3 days. Many buildings are not getting water for 2 days or 1 day. They may have storage tank, but the limited access to the water. So I think that then there is no circular which is clearly stating that all the swimming pools should be cut, shut down on that kind of what we can say, the circulars need to be issued. So I think that is the another aspect. And the third aspect I want to raise on this debate is, means if you are saying that the long term and short term, I think that we need to think the long term thing. Because short term, yeah, we are going to manage it and we have to manage it. But for the long term, we are weakening, our policymakers or politicians are weakening the pioneer in water management. Asian pioneer in water management, it's a BMC. It's Bombay Municipal Corporation's water department. They are very efficient, but why we are weakening them with not allowing them to leak detection and prevention cell spendings and regular check of the pipeline.
China, and you want to respond. You want to respond to how crucially we can pay attention to this issue. These issues, for some reason, don't seem to be on the top of mind at all when it comes to politics.
No, I think it's very on top of mind, Tamanna. Let's not duck the question. The question is very, very important. Water conservation is one part. Mumbai's infrastructure bursting at its seams is another part. And misappropriation by these builders or people who take their own kind of shots with the administration to usurp what is rightfully due to the common citizen is the third aspect of this debate. Having said that, accountability is a must. And Tamanna, I don't understand how better to get people to be accountable than to run campaigns where they are exposed, where they are ostracized and where they are fined, all three in one. Having said that, yes, in the days to come, conservation of water is also something we have to look at very seriously, whether it's rainwater harvesting, whether it's using the model of what cities like Chennai have done and others too, and experts who have their knowledge in this subject need to be in collaboration with the administration. Deepak Kesarkar had a review meeting with all the BMC officials, which is known to one and all. And in that, he did say that they will recover the fine from the builder because this has caused a wrongdoing, not just to the taxpayers, but to every citizen who have been deprived on the account of his wrongdoing.
Absolutely.
So if there is a problem which is solved at the end of the month, and I don't believe that, you know, we can just have timelines to everything. Sometimes the exposés are important also to help as a substantive proof.
So
and
we will continue to follow it up.
Is going to be completed in the next 3-4 days or 1 week. I think it's sufficient.
1 week. No, so we'll follow it up. Next Monday, we will follow it up. We brought up the issue. We're following it up today.
Please do.
And we will follow it up next Monday. Let's see if the work is completed or where it stands. It's important to not just bring up a story and highlight it, but to follow it up, and we promise to do that. I want to thank all of you for joining us on the first debate. We're keeping the focus on maximum city.